Alright, so I built myself an upgraded version of my original sheet metal roller that I built probably around 3 years ago. That thing kind of worked, but it never really was that strong, and I couldn't bend any thick material with it, and it wasn't really that big. So therefore, I made this. This is a much bigger, stronger version of the original one that I made. I know I can buy these things for a couple $100, but it's way more fun making this stuff. So I decided to make one. So for those who are curious as to how big this thing is, the biggest piece of sheet metal that I can fit in this is 27 inches long. So much bigger than my original one. And we're now going to test this thing out to see what it can do. We're first going to start off small. We're going to try this really thin piece of rusty sheet metal, and then we'll work our way up to thicker material. You always got to make sure that the roller is flat so it doesn't roll it at an angle. And then turn these evenly. Let's go 2. Let's go 2 more. Really crunchy metal. Let's go 3. 3. Nowhere near. So far, not bad. It's a really tight radius already, and we're nowhere near bottoming out. So that's one thing I was a little afraid of: is this roller go down enough to have a really tight radius? But this is already pretty tight, and it's nowhere near bottoming out on this thing. Now, how to get this off? I really had to figure out how can I make it to where once it gets to this position, how do you get this off the machine? So that's why I made this the way it is. So basically you just move these up, take the pressure off of it, you pull these pins out, just like that, and then you can pick this whole thing up. And this is one thing that I didn't think of when designing this, is now how do I get this off of here, because now there's the threaded rod in the way. So basically you just got to take the threaded rod off. Basically just unscrew it enough to where it slides off. Then you can slide the sheet metal off. Then you got to put it back together. Then to put it back together, you just pick it up, slide it back onto here, and put the pins back in. Which I did mean to make pins, but right now I'm just using 1/2-inch bolts. So, alright, so this is 1/8 of an inch thick by 14 inches wide. Let's see if we can bend it with this. Alright, let's see what this thing can do. Oh, it's starting to go hard. I did want to, because I'm using threaded rod. I know it's not the perfect thing to use threaded rod. I did want to use Acme thread, but I didn't have any, and shipping would take forever, and this was kind of like a last minute build. Something I just wanted to build, so kind of just used what parts I had. So if these threaded rods end up stripping out, then I'll just replace them with Acme thread. Starting hard on this. Starting hard on this. What's making that horrid noise? Sounds like something's scraping something. That's not good. Can you guys see that? This top roller has an arch to it. So that's not good. So far it doesn't really look good for 1/8 of an inch thick. Let's take some pressure off of it. It's not bent, which is good, but it did flex. Maybe like 1/4 of an inch. It did bend this, kind of. It was perfectly flat, and now it's not. So it did kind of work, but it's not as strong as I was hoping it was going to be. Alright, let's actually try some 1/8 of an inch thick aluminum, because most of the time when I need to roll something is I'm making an aluminum gas tank. So if it can do this, then we're good. And I don't really want to roll this whole thing because aluminum's not really cheap lately, so maybe I'm just going to roll half of it. Because I'm a cheap bastard. Yeah, I'd say it works. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's a nice smooth bend. It works really well. It, unfortunately, it's not as strong as I was originally hoping it was going to be. It wasn't able to bend 1/8 of an inch thick plate steel, but the only time I'm ever like rolling sheet metal is rolling aluminum, and when I'm building these aluminum gas tanks. So I don't think I'll ever need to roll that wide of 1/8 of an inch thick plate steel, but it just kind of sucks that this thing is not as strong as I was hoping it was going to be. But it should work perfect for my for what I'm doing. It's gonna work a whole lot better than the original one that I made 3 years ago. I've actually been wanting to make this for like over a year now. I'm finally getting around to it. It's a little bit different video, working on this, making this thing. Hopefully you guys like. I decided to kind of film and edit this video a little bit differently, just to kind of see if you guys like it. Instead of the long time lapses, instead of the music, instead of you know, a longer video, it's going to be a lot shorter video. Possibly no music, or if I do add music, I'll do it really quietly and more in the background, and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys like the new editing style, let me know. If you guys don't like it, I'll revert to my original editing style. So let me know what y'all think of it, so I knew what to do and how to film the next video. But anyway, I guess that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. So I'm drilling through this, and I'm like wondering, why is it not going through? I'm pressing harder and harder, and I realized, oh, this drill bit sticks down way further, and I'm drilling into the table of the mill. So yeah, that's great. Let me take off that drill bit so I can actually drill through this whole thing without drilling into the table. So yeah, that sucks. Now I got a hole in the table. Yeah, drilled into my table a little bit. Thankfully, it's not that deep, but it's still a hole that I drilled in my table. So, yeah, that sucks.